Alright, so let's get started by going into a new scene. And this is an object. It's made up of three things: vertices, or vertex if you're talking about a single one, edges, and faces. You can hit tab and you can get into the mode of manipulating all three of these pieces of geometry. And you can go down here to vertex, edge, or face. Okay. Now faces, we'll get started with that. Faces, if you click on it, there is only one direction for a face. I'm going to tell you that now because that's very important with 3D printing. Only one direction. If you hit N on the keyboard, you can go down here to the normals, and you can go like that, and then up the size of the normal. So right now, these normals are facing out, and that's good. If they were facing in, that would be bad, because if you were ripping this for 3D print, it can't distinguish the face, okay? And it uses the face to understand the rip. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that this is facing out always. How you do that is just basically go over here, and you'll see flip direction. Now, it might not seem important just yet, but as you go on to understand mirror will flip these automatically. I just want to make sure that you know what a face direction is and what a face normal is right off the bat. So turn them off. They're really annoying to look at, other than, you know, at the very end when you get done with your mesh, you should be very aware of what direction your face normals are if you're having problems. The next one is edge. And if I can click on an edge just like that, now every component can be scaled, rotated, and translated. So WER allows me to do that. So in this case, if I wanted to scale this edge, I can scale it on X, I can scale it on Y, or I can scale it on Z. But right now, since I only have one of these highlighted, I can only scale in one direction. When you have many of them, by holding Shift, you can start scaling in other directions. And some might not seem important. Let's say I want to try to do this to it. Well, I can't do that. But if you go like this, let's say I take one edge, hit W on the keyboard and raise it up, and then hold Shift and grab the other edge. If I ever want to level this out, I can go to R and now scale it, and I have to scale it a couple times, and sooner or later what's going to happen, it levels perfectly out. So you have to do about 3 to 4 times, and automatically you have a nice flat surface. Trust me, in the heat of battle, that is a very, very handy thing. So I'll show you why here in a sec. Let's go to vertex. So let's hold Shift and grab a couple of these vertices, hit W on the keyboard and move them out. Let's take this one and move it all the way out to here, and then I have this weird thing. So let's try to straighten this out. If I click and drag, I get a Marquee Selection. But notice when I Marquee Select here and then rotate around, it never got this vertex. Okay? Because there's a couple different modes here in Blender. There's one that shows backface or limited selection, and one that does not. So if you go like this, you can see that vertex now by clicking this little button, and then Marquee Select, and you can get a hold of it. Now, toggling this on and off is a pain. I much prefer Z on the keyboard. Z will toggle between wireframe. So I'll toggle between wireframe, grab that vertice, and then go like that. Now if you hit R on the keyboard, in the direction that I need to flatten it out, I can. All I do is have to go like this. Do it a few times and it should be perfectly straight. Again, if your hopes to go into the perspective and only use perspective, that's a good, nice little trick to know. If you hit 7 on the keyboard, you go like this, and you can jump into the top view, hit Z, grab all the vertices, and go like this. Again, if I didn't hold Z, this is what would happen. So notice I can highlight these two vertices. If I hit 7 and go like this, and then go back, sometimes these bottom ones will not highlight. Because let's say this was off kilter to the point where it might have select or get in the way of geometry. This limited selection might be off. I can go like this, and then all of a sudden, look, that vertice never got highlighted. So practice this for a second. Practice, just, stop the video, move geometry around a little bit, and try to fix it. I can tell you that that is very helpful to understand at the very first onslaught of things. Before you go making a monster, understand how to straighten things out or fix it. Okay, now selections, which are going to be handled in the next little part here. But for right now, this is how you move components and how you get into component mode.